Hello, everybody. Hopefully, everybody can hear me good. Welcome back to another Drawcast. Today, we'll just be drawing a few popular movie and show kaiju and seeing just what we can come up with today. If anyone's coming from the last two Drawcasts, you know that we've been just working on uh, showing you my process, teaching you guys how I go through drawing kaiju and such. Last time we did one original monster from scratch and then finished up a few other kaiju characters in my kaiju universe. But today we'll be mostly focusing on established kaiju from any different franchises like Godzilla, Ultraman, any other anime, stuff like that. So we'll be working on that today. So right now we'll just get set up and see what happens. Just gonna make a few fun announcements just so that we can get things started. And like I said, feel free anyone else to comment down kaiju for me to draw after the fact even. If you want to drop some kaiju suggestions, I'll do that for the next stream. And that way we'll be able to keep a good flow going. Let's see here. Keep the screen share going on. Hopefully things have been going well for everyone. So far, looks like things are dying down in terms of the fires for the most part. At least some of the closer ones to me have died down, thankfully. People are still staying safe. Work is still pretty slow. It gives me more time to stream and stuff for you guys. And just stuff to, personal work, commission, stuff like that. All right. So I've got the share going. So then I'll just present. Screen. There we go. Awesome. So now that we got that set up, let's begin. I know we have one suggestion already, but let's see. We'll get to that later. For now, we'll stick to something pretty well known. And then let me just pull up some reference. Remember, guys, always have your reference with you. That'll be very important when drawing anything. because that's what help you. It'll help you get a frame of mind, I guess, or you'll be able to do things from life more, and that way you'll have a you can draw from imagination way better than you would without reference. But let's see, let's place music here. Volume a little bit lower, so that's not overwhelming. But let's bring that up to size so it's clear for the viewers. All right, so let's get this cracking. Like I said, we're going to be focusing on popular mainstay kaiju, so like anything that's established in a established franchise and such, from Godzilla, Ultraman, King Kong, anything at all. So that way, and I was allowing some OCs, but like I said, they have to impress me in order to get in on the fun here. So if you have an OC, feel free to drop it down on the X or Twitter post. Also on Blue Sky, you can find me at Vic Monstrous on most platforms, or Vic's Monstrosities. Through there, you can find my posts and drop a suggestion down below. And then we'll be able to get that going. Portions right. We already tell what monster we're working on here. Pretty popular one. Not one of the big five, but still a pretty well-known kaiju. Is very famous within the kaiju genre for particular reasons. And if you're watching here, feel free to leave suggestions as well again. So we got that going so far. Of course, this is Paragon, very popular kaiju within the Godzilla franchise. It originally started out as a monster from, depending on what version you're watching or how you want to say it, it's Frankenstein Conquers the World or Frankenstein versus Paragon, which of course most people know in the community that it was originally. It is tied to King Kong versus Godzilla because the original idea was King Kong versus Godzilla, but in some sort of mix-up, Frankenstein was replaced with Godzilla, to where eventually Frankenstein got his own movie. Like I said, Frankenstein Conquers the World. And that's where Baragon made his debut. And since then, Baragon has been used within many tokusatsu franchises from Ultra Q to Ultraman. But of course, some of those weren't as Baragon. His suit was reused and remodeled many times for any one given appearance. So he'll look different. He's been many different kaiju from like Ultraman, Ultra Crew, like I said, and it's pretty easy recognizable since mostly the head changes for the most part, but with his body staying relatively the same, so you'll be able to recognize whenever he makes an appearance. Like that big round muscly butt body. So if you're ever watching Ultra Q and you think you recognize a monster, it's probably because it's been reused from something else you may know. Like Godzilla was used multiple times. Since it was a Superaya company who was the person who did a lot of the effects for the earlier Godzilla movie, so he was able to get loans on the suits. So we got this going here. Go. Like you may have seen from earlier streams, the process of like going from scribbles to messy shapes that eventually take form into something recognizable, like a thigh to a knee to a calf. Back on pretty nifty, if I say so myself. This is just one of the monsters I had on queue while we wait for any suggestions to come by. Like I said, we do have one which we'll get working on later once I finish up this drawing here, because I want to just throw something in there in case anyone hadn't dropped by any suggestions for us today, but that's all right. We got things going on. There we go. I got the basic shape going down, so neat. We'll do a little sketch here. Something that's neat without many scribbles going on. So that if I wanted to go in and finalize the drawing, which I may do here or in another stream where we want to come back, since those are pretty fun to do. For the most part, we'll just get some drawings going. It's got these big ears that I believe in some of the guidebooks are said that he can cover his eyes with his ears while he illuminates everything else with his horn there. So that's a cool ability. In the movie, you can see that he uses it many times to illuminate the caverns that he uses to move around. And it's a really good movie, to be honest. Frankenstein Conquers the World. That's a pretty good kaiju flick. There's some like absurd things about it, like the ending. It's like a tragic way to end the film if you're attached to the monster in particular, but I'll save that for if you want to watch the film yourselves. But still really cool. Cool to see the monsters duke it out. You don't really meet until the last few acts of the film, but it's a pretty good monster clash there. Dun, Go. Got Farrakhan going there. Go. Nice little sketch there, Farrakhan. Like I said, we'll probably come back to it later. Finish it up after I get a few more sketches going. But there you go. For the most part, there we got Farrakhan there. And always good to go and touch up anything there you want to. Not too bad if I do say so myself. It's always fun drawing up monsters. It's the way of drawing animals that doesn't really hold a candle to some things, just because, they're not real animals, but you can base a lot of them off real animals. And that way you get some cool combinations going. And with Beargun, he's like a fan favorite of mine. I love the guy. He's a cool kaiju. I do have the Super 7 figure of him, which is I think one of the better Super 7 reaction figures in that line, just because, like I said, I don't like the way they sculpt some of the tails there. But, it is what it is. Alright, now let's get to the suggestion that we had. Hopefully you guys will guess which guy this is. Let's see. Manipulate this guy, make sure he's pretty proportionate to how he actually is. starting to come together. First, we got Slifer, Sky Dragon. Oh, this guy's pretty complicated. Ugh. Anyone knows me knows I favor simple designs, or I favor a simple style, but it was suggested by a good friend and regular of mine. So shout out to you. A few more announcements. And like I said, hopefully these streams will be a regular thing going on. Gonna be working on a lot more drawcasts that we'll be able to work on. So that we'll be able to do a lot more. I'll get more into streaming. Hopefully we'll have some more guests on. I'm working on getting some people in particular, people I've had on before, or at least that I've done videos with or something like that. I think it'd be a real treat for you guys. Let's see. And that goes for both the Drawcast and any regular podcast I might want to start, because I want to start getting into that soon. Yeah, just to get you guys more in tune with what the stuff I got going on. So like right now, we're drawing Slifer, Sky Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the 3 Egyptian gods, which was suggested. Like I said, if you have any suggestions, drop a comment down below and stick around. Maybe we'll get to it. For any like established kaiju, OCs are acceptable, but they gotta be impressive, or to just impress me to do it. Mostly because it is focusing on established kaiju, so like anything from Godzilla, Ultraman, Ultra Q, King Kong, anything from those franchises. And you know, it doesn't have to be kaiju. It can be like any type of monster. So like we got Slifer going on here, like I said, which was suggested. You can go to my my Blue Sky or my Twitter X handle, whatever it is, Instagram. Just suggest a kaiju there, or you can comment down below. I'll see if I can read any comments. Oh no, almost hit the wrong button. But hello, people. What is up, Minecraft? Let's see what those hands look like. Just looking at some reference here. I'd still need to figure out a few ways to draw some things like these shapes are just super interesting. They're just super angular and like edgy. Like I know that associated with something else, but like no other way to describe it. There's just like this edge to it, to doing like these armor like scale designs, which I think is cool. That's you. Almost skeletal in a way, to doing these like armor scaly type of things, which is cool. But I need to figure out how to draw it normally. Off the top of my head, and something like that would take practice. Perfect practice makes perfect. Nothing's really perfect, so let's see. Start to do his wings. Some more detail there. I think he has like some weird design here. Yeah. Dude, it's almost like insect-like or crustacean. Let's see. It's bone-like. For choosing. Cool. Let's see. Looks like we got some suggestions going on. I know Minecraft wanted to drop one. Like I said, any of my handles on Blue Sky or Twitter will go by either like Vic Monstrous or Vic's Monstrosities. So you can do that. And actually, the other night, you would have found me on Sea Monster Essays channel, where we, both he and I, some other people too, talked about the new Wolfman that just came out. So if you want to see us talk about that, you can head over there. TLDR is that we both thought it was pretty okay for what it was, but it definitely could have and in some ways should have been better. It's a very different take on the Wolfman. There were some things that were hit or miss for me, but I liked it for what it was, like I said. just because it's lifer. I guess we have enough going on so that we can do like a final sketch. So like if you were to like I don't know if I do this normally for like my normal process. Sometimes I'll do it just so that I have a clear frame to work with when it comes to my drawings. But especially with commissions, I will do a like final rendition sketch of the requested character. So I would like send a rough sketch like this, then I would go in and do like detailings, just to give the client like an idea, a clear idea of what like the inking would be, which is the next step in the process for most of my commission work. And like I keep it mostly to commission work to where I do that, since I can give myself a pretty good idea of what the final inking's gonna be, but if there's a certain idea that I want clear or that I want to hammer down, I'll usually just do a final sketch that were like cleaner lines, just so that I have everything nailed down. It's fun to do, especially if you're just doing like casual drawings too, so it's easy just to get the idea across. And that way things are pretty easy. Just go through on the final pass. Whether you're doing a commission work or just doing a personal project, which I do from time to time. Like anyone, like if you've seen the channel, you know that I mainly draw monster art or pinup illustrations, character design, stuff like that. It's like my main thing that I do. And so like you'll see me do monster designs and such. I have my own universe going on in my head. Some stuff I've written down into like short stories or anything like that, to where basically you'll see my universe of kaiju characters. If you know Pocho, my original kaiju, that's sort of like the face of my brand going on. And I've shown it around, but I basically have these new banner and sticker designs going on. Let me know what you think of that if you've seen that around, because I did just come up with a few different designs for my YouTube page, Blue Sky, Twitter, all that. You can see them if you check them out. I posted them as well. But basically, I have a lot of new stuff going on to like hammer home my branding. And so yeah, I got that going on. Got some new things in the pipeline to work on. Like I said in the last in the stream with me and Sea Monster essays, I'm probably gonna be working on. I wouldn't say tomorrow. I mean, actually, no, not tomorrow. I have work tomorrow, thankfully. But you might be seeing a stream where I basically just go through Little Platoon's video, the infamous video that everyone's probably seen by now. Basically about GXK, which everyone sort of clowned on or dogpiled. And I would agree that that video isn't really well structured, or his points weren't as well articulated as I think some other people like Blackaroonie or Zim or Zimzilla in a few ways, as to why they think that GXK is not as good of a film, even in comparison to something like the other MonsterVerse entries. But it's something I'm gonna do to where I'm gonna go through and just sort of explain why I think that film is pretty good. Some of the flaws with Lil Platoon's video that I think not really many people touched on, or not many people touch on as much. So I basically want to go through all that just to explain. And then for Minecraft, if you're still there, I just saw your comment. As for software, when it comes to streaming, I use StreamYard. It's a pretty cool site that me and Zim use. I think, and then Sea Monster uses it as well, so you probably know that. As for sharing the screen, it is a Reflector. Specifically, let me see if it's a Reflector 4. Look that up. I think there's something you have to. I forget the price, if there is a price. I don't think it's any more than $20, if so, depending on the version. But if you just download that, it's pretty easy to use with StreamYard. If you're gonna. All right, hopefully we're still going. Hello? All right. Sorry if I crashed out on anything there. Hopefully the stream's still going smoothly. Because my computer died and I didn't know why it wasn't putting the charge. But we are going to go back on track here. But like I said, Minecraft World. Yeah, Reflector 4 is what I use for that. And it's going pretty well with me. I draw on a iPad Pro, I believe. I forget what model I have, but essentially that's just what I use. So I recommend that. It screen shares pretty well. I would also ask Zim. So I know Zim uses some different stuff or the same stuff as me. So I usually get my advice from him. And so since it did crash, this screen stopped sharing. But let's see. It'll be easy to just yeah, the way it works is just you hit the screen share on the iPad, and on the computer it gives me a code that I just put in on the iPad, and it'll share the screen there. So it's pretty easy to use. There you go. The only thing that kind of gets in the way is that it puts the screen of the iPad like right up there real big. So I have to move it around a lot if I want to get to like any buttons. Like sharing it right now took a while just because. Yep, there you go. Just because. I was checking on the drawing route so far. So yeah, that looks a lot cleaner. Like if I was going to finish the drawing, like this, the next step would be like just a line art. for it. If you can see the Baragon I did not so long ago. Yeah, there you go, Baragon. I did this guy at the beginning. Pretty fun. And then you can just see. So I would do a sketch like this, send them that to a client if I was doing commission. They would okay that. I would make any changes if I had to. Then I would just send them, this is the final sketch, so this is what you expect from me to the inking to do when I do the line art and stuff. And then from there it would be coloring, rendering, yada yada. So yeah, Baragon there that we did. And then now you're gonna see what Slifer are gonna just about done doing that thing then, so. And drawing for me has always been a fun process. Very time consuming because I spend most of my days just drawing up until the night, so that's always been a pain. I'll just draw into the night since I'm a night owl. That's when I work best, it seems, but it is horrible for my sleep schedule. 'Cause now I can't go to sleep early most nights, but struggles of an artist, I guess. And let's see here. So we're almost done with Slifer here. And Yu-Gi-Oh is one of the main franchises I grew up with. I had the cards, I watched the show. I read some of the manga, the original manga, which is somewhat different from how the anime came out. At least the season you know of. My girlfriend really loves Yu-Gi-Oh! So she always like shows me things from it. But season 0 is a fun series, which is basically like I guess the original. I think in some ways it's more accurate to the manga because the manga actually wasn't about the card game specifically. It was just about different games. So you had things like Duel Monsters, which was one of the games, and then you had rock paper scissors or something like that for the other games. But they were basically like either Japanese games or just some general games that everyone knows about. And like you still have the trope of the pharaoh coming to help Yugi out because somehow it would always turn into a shadow game. I mean, I think there's like some gambling moments in there. There's like, I think a guy's holding someone at gunpoint, and like Yami, who is just a pharaoh at that point, I think just tricks the robber guy to lighting himself on fire somehow, which is cool. Like I like that. It's like a darker side to the show, you could say. And then apparently Duel Monsters specifically was really popular. And like fans of the manga were asking to make it into a real game. So I think that's how the game got started, and then the show came after that, I want to say. I'm sure there's videos about it that'll go more in depth, but yeah, that's just like the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! If anyone didn't know about that, just because, you think it's a typical story of like what came first, the action figure or the show. Oftentimes they are done together or one comes over the other. Like He-Man, like they started if you know the He-Man franchise, it started out as like an action figure that they were trying to sell because Mattel, I think it is, that owns the He-Man franchise. They were trying to beat out Star Wars, which was really popular at the time. And so they needed something to, take the heat from Star Wars and just do a popular show. And that's how He-Man came about. Yeah. Any more details, Slifer, we can add? Because, yeah, this is the upper body, because Slifer has a lot of different intricacies to him. I probably couldn't get to regularly, but he's got more spikes going on. Got like 2 spikes along his back there, but wouldn't be able to see it from here. Yeah, Slifer is always a cool creature. Probably have to add his wings in there. I forgot to add his wings, but they would sort of be from here, so let me just do that. Sort of a scuffed way to do the wings, but I just forgot them. But yeah, there you go. Slifer there. I'd say, yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite. Or probably just like my favorite of the bunch of the 3 Egyptian gods there. And let me double check Blue Sky or Twitter if anyone's dropped anything for suggestions. Because again, feel free to leave suggestions for any other kaiju we can work on. Oh, I see. I figured you might have said that, Minecraft World, because I did see your sketch there earlier, which is really cool. So I'll go ahead and give that a try. Probably gonna need portrait version, but yeah. I've actually been meaning to get into the Nemesis franchise. Just because I think it looks pretty neat. I know it's pretty famous within the kaiju community. At least those who are more into like the literature side of things. It does look really cool. Pretty cool monster design. Has some things I like about it when it comes to, I guess, design tropes for kaiju. I'll probably see if I can do something out here. It's sort of like a xenomorph head with eyes. Hopefully I could do it justice, or justice, just because It's a pretty complicated monster, but it does look really cool. So hopefully I can get some good. The reference images are pretty cool. So yeah. So hopefully I can just do that right. Maybe I do my own spin on things too, because all right. So, like I said, I've known about Nemesis for about as long as I've been in the larger Kaiju community because I believe it's a she, right? Yeah, she. So, cool, yeah. So, let's see. She's basically Biolante with the role of, for example, the Hawk and the role of Titanus Gojira, which I guess is like, yeah, like the Monsterverse style thing. And so, that's pretty cool. Is there like a lot of okay, I'm seeing right now issue 4, so I guess depending on are there multiple novels or multiple books with Nemesis? Spinning around. Maybe we can get more action this way. No. Oh well. I see. Comic issues parts. There's 5 in the main story, so that's cool. Yep, like I said, lots of detail going on with this guy or this girl. But I've done a few complex designs before, so I know how to like, or at least I get an idea of how to simplify things. Because within my style, I aim for things that I would see like in animation, just because that's my favorite medium to tell stories in or see stories be expressed through. Um, so like when it comes to what you're seeing here, this would basically my aim would be like if I was making like an animated adaptation of like Project Nemesis, this is what she would probably look like in that story. Which, like I said before, I think the medium of animation is like an untapped well of potential for kaiju media in general. Just because I think there's a lot of things you can do with the story like that with kaiju. Like watch any anime with monsters in them, or at least well animated monsters. You know, just because animation budgets and such. But if you can find one, I'd recommend anything like let's see, Kaiju number 8 is pretty good when it comes to the monster action that showed. It's a lot more Power Rangers-y with the kaiju, and by that I just mean um like there's a lot of human-sized kaiju creatures, which are pretty cool because they also have the power to like summon, um, other kaiju, like larger kaiju sizes. But yeah, that's pretty good. There's an episode of Glitch Text, which is a pretty cool animated show, which I wish would get renewed for more seasons because it was a good show. Glitch Text on Netflix. There's an episode where it's basically like Dance Dance Revolution but with kaiju. And it's a fighting game. And then like basically the premise of the show is like the video games glitch out, and basically it turns the video game sprites into actual physical like beings that are called glitches. Good show, like I said. And there's an episode where it's basically you have this Godzilla character and this like Ultraman, or maybe more accurate to say like what are they called, Zorgs, like the Ultra Zorg or Ultra Zord character, and they basically fight, and it's like a cool sequence. And actually you can hear, I think, like the stereotypical Godzilla roar, which I think in most cases is actually the 98 roar when you think about it. Yeah, Megazords. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, Minecraft, like you don't have to contend with like live action limitations, you know. Like the only limit is the imagination and what you have to pay the animators. Because with animation, it's all about depending on how your frame rate is going. Like, it does cost money, but not as much money, I'd say, as most 3D animated films that you see more of today, which have certain qualities to them that make it in some ways easier to um, animate certain things, but because you have assets that you manipulate instead of drawing everything. And then you have things like yeah, just the different assets, and it makes it easier to animate in a way. It comes with its own challenges. Until you get into just like the issue of And like I said, if you've seen Tarzan, Treasure Planet, even Atlantis, I think they use a technique called deep canvas, where it's basically a 3D environment, but you paint everything like the buildings or the trees in a 2D style, um, so that when you move the camera, you can just draw over it at that angle, and it'll look 2D still, um, which was used for like Tarzan whenever he's swinging around the vines in the jungle. They use that. Um, I don't think it was a thing at this point, but for Beauty and the Beast, something um, like when they have that musical number and they're dancing in the ballroom, stuff like that. I think you can do a lot with 2D and 3D combinations. Um, 'Cause there's also films like The Iron Giant, which is basically a mecha film, if you want to think about it that way. There's also like scenes there that allude to things like the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, um, when the scene where the giant is mistaken for a lighthouse, and so there's that scene, which is a cool scene. So you can do a lot of cool stuff with that. And Nemesis is coming along pretty well here, I do say so, for as complicated as she is in design. And not that that makes anything like a bad design. Complicated can be good. It's just a matter of what style the artist takes on. Uh, and such. Actually, since I did mention I saw your drawing Minecraft World, um, it's a really good drawing. I really like what you did there with her. Let's see if I can pull it up. At least on my phone, anyways. Yeah. Yeah, no problem, Minecraft World, because I've been seeing your stuff. Your stuff is, you have a pretty good style going on yourself. Um, Pretty neat. And then I forget what some of your inspirations were for it or what you're going for, but I think, like I said, with just practicing everything, like you just have to study like a lot of stuff, um, to like also blend it into your own style. It took me like a long time or a good while to get my style going, since I pulled from a little bit of everything, from anime to Western cartoons to comics and such. Yeah, but you also simplified it in a lot of ways that I think is really cool. Yeah, Matt Frank. It's not cool. Yeah. Speaking of Matt Frank, he's a pretty cool guy. I've met him a few different occasions. He also saved my life in a way. Um, I forget if I told the story live somewhere or other, but I met Matt Frank at a Monster Palooza, which is a local convention to the LA area. So if you're ever there, I recommend checking that out when it happens. I think it's coming up in March, May, in a few months or so. And then there's another creator, Steve Wang, who is the director of the Guyver films. He was the painter for the Predator movies. He basically did the paint scheme for the creature effects. He also did painting for Godzilla '98, which is why I was meeting him there, particularly that day. Um, he basically has his own company now, that he does, where he like sculpts and paints stuff to there. He had like a bunch of his sculptures there on display, and then I was there, and Matt Frank happened to be there too. and we were just waiting to talk to him. And like clumsy me, I hit the post of one of his statues, and thankfully Matt Frank was able to catch the sculpture just in time, so that wouldn't break. Um, so yeah, so thankfully he was there to save the day. So shout out to Matt Frank. And then we both got to meet Steve Frank, so that was cool. He saved me from having to pay thousands of dollars just to pay him back, or for damages or whatever. Which I don't know if that would have happened, because honest mistake, but you know. And I've gotten a few commissions from, or I've commissioned Matt Frank to do some cool 98 drawings, which I've shared on my 98 page on Twitter. He actually he gets a lot of commissions to do Godzilla 98 stuff, which is pretty cool. He draws him in a cool way in his own style, which is basically like the Rulers of Earthzilla that he did for that comic run, which is really cool design for Zilla and Godzilla 98. But he also does lots of cool screen accurate stuff too, which is awesome. I think looking at this now, it makes me want like a TV show, not unlike Godzilla the series, but like with Project Nemesis, because I think that would look really cool if you had a design like this. Oh, a live action TV show in the works. I think I did hear something about that. But I forget if that was like a while ago. Because I've been hearing a lot of stuff from like more indie creators getting like movie deals or something. There's like the Primitive War people that I think are working on a movie, which I look forward to. Honestly, I haven't heard much about the guy since I think there's like a little mini controversy with the creator of that particular IP there, in the IP. But most people seem to be excited for the show, so I'm game for it. But with Project Nemesis, I know I've heard a few things here and there about it. If you have any intel on that, feel free to share. But I just haven't heard that much from it, other than there was something in the works. Because See, there's another Celestia Herd still happening, and there's a second comic adaptation of Nemesis going on. So let's see. That sounds cool. Hopefully, we'll get to see more of Nemesis soon. Because I know for me, I've been wanting to check it out. I'm also the kind of guy that just waits for the anime to come out before I read much of anything. Because I'm also into a lot of anime stuff. Pretty sure I remember something about Gojin the Maki. He knows people who have worked on some Nemesis stuff or other. I think he mentioned it in one of Zim streams the other time. Something like that, where either an artist for like one of the comic issues or something is in that server too. I was just remembering from the other stream or two ago, but let's see, Zach Cole. So you talked with him, cool. And then was he the what was he exactly? Designed the reboot version of Nemesis. I see. I flesh out the shoulders a little bit just because I see there's like a lot of different specs going on. Like up there. No. Okay. Here we have so far what we got for Nemesis. She's coming along pretty well. If I do say so myself. I don't know if I'll finish this one fully fleshed out. Well, I'll see if I can do something of a cleaner sketch for this one, but really, it's gonna take a lot of time. But like I said, it's always fun to do more things like that just because it's a little bit more of a challenge. Um, I've done commissions for like other complicated characters before, so it's not like I haven't done anything like that or haven't practiced anything for it. With Nemesis, her details are very cute. It's almost like Monster vs. Godzilla in a way, to where he has just like a bunch of detail for his scale work. And I just like with that, I have a hard time just comprehending what to draw. Because like I've practiced more realistic styles before. When it comes to detail, I mostly lean towards favoring realism. But when it comes to simplifying it, I just try to go for like the simplest line to go through. Because I take influence from things like the Owl House, Dragon Ball, Mob Psycho 100, if everyone's seen that. What else? What other shows? Just because, like I said, I pull from Western shows and cartoon animes or cartoons. A lot of cartoons nowadays, more so than I think before, take influence from anime, just because of how popular it is. And I'm glad you think I'm doing good with her, because it is a fun character. Looks like a fun character. So I'm definitely gonna look more into her and the story. Check it out, and hopefully whenever that show comes out, it'll be a hit, because I figure it would be, considering how successful Monarch Legacy of Monsters was. If we get a show like that, with because even if there's some like narrative problems with it that most people seem to have, it was pretty successful. Considering it's also getting a second season, so if with how well a reputation Project Nemesis has, I'm sure the show will do great, and such. This is there. I might actually go in later and finish this up. I have a lot of work in progresses that I need to catch up on. And this is just another one for the list, but it might be one that I finish up just because of how cool I think it's coming out. Because, yeah, like, even with just sketches have a way of just looking cooler than the final product sometimes. Because, like, because I'm so loose with some of my lines, it has that nice, like, traditional feel to it that you don't get with like most finished products. I remember even when I did more traditional stuff when I started out, I know that I was always scared to ink my drawings because I just loved how the sketch looked. So I would hate to ruin the sketch by like inking it in a way that I either didn't like or wasn't satisfied with. Which I think is like a hurdle that every artist has to bear and go through. Just because that's like, the only way you'll learn. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. We got Nemesis here. Let's see. Another thing I've been doing lately is doing all the Godzilla Fortnite events and missions, which I've been seeing a lot of people have been doing on Twitter, X, some Blue Sky. Has anyone here done any of their Godzilla missions or gotten a chance to play the Fortnite event going on? Just recently, I've been able to play as Godzilla myself, and it's a lot of fun uh, playing as Godzilla. Because it feels like just like if you've played any if you play like Godzilla the game on PS4 or like Giga Bash or any game where you're a monster, it's just like so fun to do that in Fortnite. Especially since you get to interact with a lot of the players on the ground. And I've seen some people complain because it doesn't come up too often. I can't say that for myself that I've run into that issue where um yeah to where he doesn't appear as often. Um I've gone like a game or two where he doesn't appear, but usually by the third or fourth round, whether I die or if I'm lucky enough to like win a match, um he'll usually appear like every 3 or so rounds. Um and then a good way to know if he's coming is usually if Kong appears at the beginning of the match, then he's more than likely to appear because um I think the ratio was like Kong's 25% likely to show, and then Godzilla's 20%. I think more often than not, if Kong shows up, Godzilla definitely will. And usually the best way to be Godzilla if you get there is if you drop somewhere that's in more towards the middle of the map, just because you have a greater chance of getting to the portal in time. I always drop anywhere where I know there'll be a car. I'll drop there, get ready, and just drive out as soon as I see the portal showing. And I've been able to do it twice successfully. Unfortunately, the first time I played as Godzilla, my game crashed just because my internet is like bugging out. Specifically for Fortnite, I don't know why. Um, but I know that the second time around, I actually got to successfully play as Godzilla. Killed more than a few people in the game, so it was lots of fun. Especially like seeing all of them because they're like so small. Sometimes you can't see them, but I think even Dangerville or someone pointing out that if you just roar, you'll get to see the players ping on the map or in your field of view. So you'll be able to get a good idea of where they are after that. And then you have like the stomp feature, you have the atomic breath, and then the roar. So it's pretty simple to play as him as well. And like whenever you stomp on things, like if they're not like immediately in your like radius, they'll just fly off in some other direction, and then you can actually destroy a lot of the stuff. Like if it's not like a piece of the like terrain, like a mountain or something, it'll get destroyed. So like buildings, the rocks, the trees, uh, anything in the path of the atomic breath is just gonna get destroyed. I don't think the bridges will get destroyed, just because I think they're part of that terrain. But yeah, most stuff, it's just really fun. So I would say just keep on trying to use those techniques. Like I said, aim towards the middle so that you're closer to wherever it might appear, and land somewhere where you know there'll be a car so that you can get to it in time. And let's see, just checking if there is anyone else throwing suggestions. Doesn't look like much, but let's see. Like I said, I think we're finished up with Nemesis here. I think I'll probably leave it at this rough sketch. Not as rough as like most of my sketches, but It'll probably take a while to. I might come back to it, but I'll move on to the next one I had in mind. So far we've had, let's see, Paragon here, which was fun. Started out with a classic, then we got Slifer, Sky Dragon, a little like head up shot, which is pretty cool. And then we got Nemesis from Project Nemesis, very cool. So now we'll go back to something a little bit more recognizable. I had an idea before the show started in case there was any other suggestions you might want to throw out, just throw them in. But here's gonna be the next one working. And sound off in the comments if you can guess it. Thanks, Minecraft. Glad I was able to do that one for you. No. There you go. I got the next Kaiju going on here. This one's another popular one. Or for anyone else in the comments, feel free to suggest any other kaiju you might want to see me draw here. The stream is focused on more so original, or established kaiju, but feel free to add any, original kaiju characters if you'd like. Like I said, it's mostly focused on established characters, so anything from like the Godzilla franchise, Ultraman, King Kong, any indie works as well, like we did Project Nemesis there, which I guess is more of an indie thing, just because it's not like a major studio that's working on anything right now, but it's still like an established published work. But like I said, you can throw an original kaiju there. If it impresses me, I'll add it in there to the roster of just kaiju we're gonna draw. The one we're drawing here is another popular one from I want to say it's a pretty popular movie, or at least a well-regarded one. It was the last of the Showa era movies for Godzilla, so it has a pretty well-known like legacy, I guess you can say, a reputation. I like to make sure everything's pretty proportionate to itself. Of course, by now you probably know we have Titanosaurus here. He was manipulated into being a villain kaiju for Godzilla. As you know, in Terror of Mechagodzilla, he was on the side of Mechagodzilla, and was it? I forget if it was the aliens that. No, I think it was the humans that restored him. And then they also took control of Titanosaurus here with the technology. So for any newcomers, we are drawing established kaiju from franchises like Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, stuff like that. So leave any suggestions in the comments. Or you can go to my Twitter or Blue Sky at Vic Monstrous or Vic's Monstrosities and leave any comments or suggestions in the post there. I announced them on both my Blue Sky and Twitter there. We got the Titanosaurus sketch going on. Another franchise that I pull from for inspiration is The Land Before Time. It's one of my favorite franchises now, and since I was growing up, it's always stuck with me. It traumatized me in a few ways. If anyone knows the Littlefoot's mom scene, But I love that movie both for the sharp tooth and because of how emotional it makes me. I'm guaranteed to cry whenever I watch it. I typically don't watch it as many times as I would some of my other favorites like Godzilla 98 or Tremors. Like my top four movies um, has always been Godzilla 98, Tremors, The Land Before Time, and Tokyo Godfathers. Those were like my top four movies. Or like what is it called? Like your letterbox fours. Like the way I draw these shoulders is basically how most of the Land Before Time characters have their shoulder joints and arms and stuff, their legs drawn in. I It's a recent thing I picked up. I've always tried to emulate that style, um, but I just figured out. Ugh, when it comes to art, sometimes it takes a while to realize certain things when it comes to techniques and such. But that's why you always just gotta study the styles you want to pull from. And like the best advice I've heard and want to give out is just like pick one aspect of a style you want and do it for like three of them, and try to combine them in ways to where you can develop your own style. Things like either how they draw lines, how they color, how they render, or how they implement detail, or the themes they use with their art. Different things like that, to where you're pulling from multiple artists and pulling different things from those artists that you'll develop into a style. So like other works I pull from are things like Primal from Genndy Tartakovsky's Lamp for a Time, like I mentioned. Things like Mob Psycho 100 and Dragon Ball. And both of all those things I pull for things like whether it be human art or whether it be monster art. I basically pull different things from it, um, so that I have a certain thing going there. Okay. Nice little sketch there. Now we're just going into more finalized sketch part, since I think we got a pretty good base going on with our rough sketch. So just something a bit more clean, like I've been saying. I've been mentioning commissions throughout here. I do have commissions currently open. So if you like what you see, you want me to do a more personalized piece of art, feel free to hit up my Ko-fi page or my VGen account, which I do have. Um, they're available if you go to my either my Instagram at JaCrispyVic, or whether it be my X account, Twitter, Blue Sky. I have my card up there, my card website thing where has all my links to all my socials and where I take commissions. I do have an artistry page as well if you want to check that out. So you can find me there if you want personalized art of any kaiju characters, whether it be original characters, fan art, or anything like that. I also do have um, that available, and I also have donation commissions specifically for things like charity work, where donations of any amount will earn you an illustration. And all of the proceeds from there specifically go towards things like charities, fundraisers, um, medical needs. They'll go to things like animal shelters as well. Just because I wanted to have a place where I basically had some disposable income that I can put towards things like that, just because I've been seeing a lot of that lately with the fires going on and stuff. Different medical charities and fundraisers that I catch, and like I wish I had more disposable income so I could just donate to them. Um, so that's what that's for. If you see that there on my Ko-fi page specifically, to where I have that, and you earn an illustration, just a basic illustration for the most part. Um, you know, so like something like this, if you like what you see here, that's going to be available for you guys through my card and Ko-fi shop if you want to visit that. If you want to donate to a good cause, feel free to. Like I said, it's any amount, so if you want to do that, and then if you ever feel the need to, if you want to just know which charities and such, or recommend charities, or see what I'm specifically donating to, feel free to ask there as well. I mean, nothing right now at the moment, other than a few different animal shelter things I see. But yeah, feel free to check that out if you want to either support me or people in need. That's always going to be an option there. Yes, and if I get to do art and then help people through it, that's always nice. And in case anyone didn't catch anything, LA is going through. I think we're recovering slowly but surely with the fires going on. Thankfully, a few of them have been put out, and like the small, numerous ones. I think one of the big ones was put out, the Hearst fire. Thankfully, just because like people I know who live by there, I was worried about them, but thankfully none of them were in the zone to where it was happening, like in the direct path of the fire, which is thankfully true for most people that I know. I know a few coworkers who have had to evacuate their homes, stuff like that. Um, but thankfully, people close to me and myself and my family have been okay. Nothing too major so far. And like I said, I think things are dying down just because people are starting to go out more. Work has been pretty slow, so hopefully I'll be able to recuperate with some stuff through commissions and such, like I've been mentioning, as well as helping people out through that as well. hopefully if you like what you see, you'll be interested in checking that stuff out. Just because I offer a few different things from like either icon profiles to illustrations to reference sheets for anything like your OCs, or if you want anything like um, if you want concept art or reference sheets for anything like whatchamacallit, VTuber stuff. If you want to get into VTubing, you need a model, or not a model, but I might be able to work on that in the future. I like to work on, VTuber models and such would be cool. But if you want like reference sheets and or concept art or sketches like that, feel free to check that out because I offer that as well. Excuse me. Getting the Titanosaurus done here. And like I've been repeating throughout, like this is like a finished sketch that I would send to any clients, to where you get like a pretty good idea of how the line art's gonna come out. Like everything that you see here is gonna be have line art where it's gonna be. Pretty cool. Like without adding too much of the taste buds, I guess, for the tongue. Wow. Like I said, if you have any suggestions for like established kaiju from any given franchise, Godzilla, Gamera, King Kong, Ultraman, Ultra Q, there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. So if there's any suggestions you may have, feel free to leave them below. You can go to my Twitter, Blue Sky accounts, Instagram, drop a suggestion. Let me know if there's anything you want me to draw. OCs are welcome if they impress me, or if I just have time for it. For any other suggestions, leave them down below. We have Titanosaurus here from the Godzilla franchise. We did Project Nemesis not too long ago from the Nemesis franchise. I believe there's a show, live action show still in the works. There's a few comics coming soon. And there's the series of novels, of course, for that. We have Slifer the Sky Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! Very cool. Yu-Gi-Oh's a much beloved franchise of mine. And of course, we have Baragon from the Godzilla franchise. Another cool one doing there. Alright, and we just passed 2 hours as well for the stream, so I'll see if there's anybody who has any more suggestions. I'll see if there's anyone that I might want to do here. I'll just quickly check through and see what might be up. Like I said, folks, feel free to leave any suggestions.
Today's our make or break.
Let's see. Is there anyone else? Anything that I'm missing?
Oh, you gonna kiss
No echo, it's just listening in on the stream. But yeah, like I said, if anyone's got any suggestions, drop them now. I might be rounding off the stream there. We got 4 drawings in. We started off with Baragon. That was really cool. Like I said, leave any suggestions for any kaiju there. If anyone else wants to sound off, I'm checking any last minute requests, because they will be. Actually, you know what? I might go ahead and finish one of the drawings. I might ink and finish it. I might just go ahead and do Baragon here. So let's see, Baragon and or Titanosaurus. Which one of those guys do you want to see finished up in the finished drawing, and then that'll end off the stream? Um, for that. So sound off in the comments, anyone who's watching right now. I'll see which one's favorite between either Titanosaurus or Baragon. I might just pick and choose in a little bit if I don't see anything, but yeah, we'll be doing that. And so you'll get to see a finished drawing, not unlike this. So this is Wrecking Ball, one of my original kaiju that we finished up on the last stream, I do believe. And this is also like a finished product of what you can expect from me and my style. Hopefully you can see the influences I've mentioned throughout the stream, like Land Before Time, Primal, Dragon Ball, stuff like that. Basically that's what I aim for, like a combination of all of those into one, just because I take influence from, like I said, American cartoons, anime, comics, stuff like that. And Wrecking Ball here is one of my original kaiju. Basically I wanted like this tank, brute type of character. Started off, I saw some other concept art of similar monsters and such, and I just wanted to make my own version of that. So like he has the head of a snapping turtle, which I love. Snapping turtle is one of my favorite turtle species. He has like the bull horns there, so he can bite, snap at you, or he can just impale you through with those things. And he also has a wrecking ball on his tail, which is cool. Which one would be cooler to do? I might go ahead and do Titanosaurus complicated. It's just red with some patterns. What the heck? I'll do Titanosaurus, so let's go through here. And like I said, after I do the finalized sketch is when I would go in and do the line art. So we're gonna do that. That's fun for the most part. So doing the line art here, we're gonna finish up Titanosaurus. And with that, we'll end the stream. A big thanks to anyone who's currently watching right now, who stuck around, dropped any suggestions so far. Feel free to leave any suggestions still, because if I'm feeling it, or if we can save it for the next Drawcast, since I'm probably going to do more of these pretty frequently. Since it might also be a good motivator just to keep me drawing and stuff, since I do get burnt out sometimes. Just when I don't know what to draw or anything like that, it'll give me a good excuse to just, keep up the art and such. So that'll be good. Finding different motivators is always a good thing with art, just because, burnout is a real thing. You'll experience it sometime or the other. And it's not a bad thing, every artist experiences it. But it's always good to have like methods to deal with it once you experience it. With me, it's usually just the feeling of not knowing what I want to draw. Like I either have too many ideas I just don't know what I want to do with, or I just don't have the energy to do it, or I just get like a sudden rush of like ADHD brain, to where I'll just quickly put something out. It might not have anything to do with the ideas I've had initially, or not, but it'll just come to me. And then I'll get it done. But then everything else that I either had a pretty thought out plan for, or had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do, I'll just like take forever to complete that one thing. And it'll just be in the back of my mind, or in the back of my work in progresses, my whips. And so Got that going there. Having all this detail here is always aggravating just because, like I said, I'm not one for details. Take forever, time consuming, but they look good, so you gotta have them there. And see, sound off anyone who might be a fan of Titanosaurus, because I know she, I believe it's a she. She is a fan favorite. Is it a she? I forget. Sound off if you know. But essentially, they are a fan favorite. I know they just got like a recent reaction figure of them, which looks pretty cool. I think a lot of the kaiju do work well in that reaction style, but like I said, I do not like how they do some of the tails on them because they're just so short, and I think it's for no really reason. I mean, if you look at something like the Kinner Alien line, it's not like they had short tails there. I mean, if you look at even the reaction figures that they have now for Alien, it's not like they make anything weirdly proportioned. Some of them work, like the Baragon, I think worked really well just because he doesn't have that long of a tail anyways. So it'd be pretty easy to do it. It's easy to make it work with that style. But like anything else is sort of just like weirdly proportioned in my mind. Just because I wouldn't have done it that way. Not to send any hate that way, but I don't know. It's just like I have a way of things I like. I do have a video up on my channel about what I think makes a great kaiju figure. So I'd recommend checking that out if you want to like know what any deeper thoughts I have on things like that. Because I do have a way of what I like for scales or proportions and such. When it comes to articulation, I don't mind articulation that much. Like if a figure doesn't have it, so what? I know some people get crazy for the articulation, but I could care less. Yeah, but like, you know, I can take it or leave it when it comes to articulation. This will be nice just to have a finished product here that we can show off. And like I said, I might get around to finishing up that Project Nemesis one, since I think that one's a really cool one, and I think it would be pretty popular, you know. To be popular. If anyone's watched Wicked, which my girlfriend made me watch. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not like a musical fan, but there are musicals that I do like. I like Wicked. That was pretty good. I'm looking forward to part 2. When it comes to musicals, I think animated films do it better, just because I can be a little bit more immersed in the world, I guess. Mostly because I think it's like I get the same feeling that I get when I see TikTokers in the wild. if you know what I mean. Like I just see them and like I cringe a little, just because like I don't know. I just it feels weird. Like because I mean in the real world, like it's not like there's music playing in the background. Like in their world, is there music playing in the background? Like it's hard for me to get immersive in that sometimes. But like an animated feature is like ah, it's a bit easier for me to believe that or get immersed in it anyways. Like if you watch the Enchanted, I think it's called, the one where the Disney princess goes to the real world, like that feeling I get, like whenever she's about to sing or something, like, like that's what I'm talking about. But you know, like I said, there's musicals I like. Actually, one thing I would really like to see, like low key, is like a Godzilla musical. I remember Michael Dougherty shared those AI pictures of what it would look like. I know some people got upset with that, but I thought it was pretty cool. Like, sure, it's AI art, and it's not like it was going anywhere, you know? It was just like a what if kind of thing, just to see. I know there's that Kong musical that I kind of want to look into because, wow, it looked pretty interesting. I really like the animatronic they did for it. Um, when I say I want a Godzilla musical, I mean more so like an animated feature, like I said. Um, the stage plays that I've seen a few of are pretty more immersive, I think, than a movie in some ways, just because it's a stage play. So, you know, but you know, like I said, Godzilla musical would be cool. I think. Like if I were to pitch anything, I would say if you imagine like any sort of like Godzilla scenario, um, and just imagine it's being played to the tune of like the plagues from Prince of Egypt. Like imagine a Godzilla rampage scene as that music is playing. If anyone wants to like suggest making an edit of that, someone who like does that. I know there's some cool people on Twitter who make some cool edits and stuff like that. So that would be neat to see if it was done. Well, I think Godzilla would work pretty nice as a musical. And then I think the next best thing that I saw that would be close to it is like Rugrats in Paris. There's a scene where like there's like an ice show or something, or like a musical for like a musical scene for Reptar, which I love Reptar. I should have drawn him. Next stream I'll draw him. But yeah, there's like a pretty cool scene where I get the feel of like since Reptar is like a good Godzilla analog or something like that, you can easily see Godzilla in the role of that. Where in the film he's like a big robot, so it's like almost a kaiju movie with Rugrats. Let's do more details. Details. The devil's in the details, or something like that. Like we're almost done with the Titanosaurus here in terms of the line art. We'll do some coloring, a little bit of rendering, sign it, and then we will be off for tonight. Does anyone I want to throw in some suggestions here for maybe next time, or if I feel like a quick sketch or a doodle after we finish up the Titanosaurus here. Since the stream was dedicated to established kaijus from franchises like Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, if anyone has suggestions for that, feel free to sound off in the comments. Maybe we'll do another stream focused on that. And then we'll do a dedicated stream to original kaiju. So I know if any of my friends from the Discord want to do any suggestions for the next stream after. If there's any more suggestions I want to get through for the established kaiju after that, we'll be like more focused on original kaiju content. Just because I think that's cool. I have lots of friends with some cool original kaiju stories and such, and characters, so I would love to give them a shout out through drawing them here on the Drawcast, the Kaijunaut Drawcast. With everything from kaiju to monsters, creatures, strange beasts, and more. Just want to draw cool stuff. And pretty soon, we might even do a Monster Girl stream, because I like Monster Girls. My main OC, Lizzie, is a Monster Girl. She's a kaiju princess, I like to tell people. Let's see, how far along are we? Woohoo! Alright, just about done. Just put some more detail here off the bat. So big thank you to any viewers sticking around. Love to see it. As you know, if you're part of the subscribers for the Kaijunaut channel, I have dubbed the Kaiju Seekers. And would love to see more of you guys. Come support the channel. Share your thoughts. And overall, just let me know what you guys have going on in your life. Whether it be kaiju or anything else. I'm a big fan of other things like Transformers is cool. I like there's lots of different things. So sound off. If there's anything you guys want to see more of. Let's see, hopefully we got everything down. Let's see, what should Titanosaurus be? I think it's more burgundy. That about right. Gotta look at the reference. Always look at reference. He's a bit of a burgundy brownish, but let's see. I think that'll work for the most part. Color drop this here. Yep, the rest is gonna be mostly yellow anyways. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. Let's zoom in on that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see what its tail looks like. Its tail's about the same. Oh. Butterflies. Would not believe here, guys. We have 10 million Mothras. Lit up the world. Boom. Airbrush. Oh yeah. Let's go. Let's get her done. If you're having a good time on the stream, please do subscribe. We're going to be doing more of these. Feel free to leave suggestions for any other stream topics, subjects, and otherwise. like I said, hopefully we can launch this thing up into a bigger career going on. We just hit a little bit over 300 subscribers lately. Big thank you to everyone who has subscribed and checked out more of my videos and live streams. Like I said, more stuff is going to be going on in the future, as well as more collaborations because I am on other streams, like the Sea Monster Essays channel. He'll typically do more streams and such. I'll appear there. There's always the Zimcast on Zimzilla99's channel. Big shout out to them because they are good friends of mine and have helped me out a lot in recent times. Sorry, Gojin. I got your name wrong, but I just saw on the server. I just forgot your name off the top of my head because it's kind of long. Let's see. All right, we're getting through with Titanosaurus here, so there you go. We're almost done with him. Got like his base colors going on. I'll do more with the rendering and such in time, since art does take time, sadly. Which is quite a thing to really think about, because when you think about the AI stuff recently that's coming around, most people were talking about how like this was AI was more favorable just because it gets some of the work out of the way. Which I'm like, sure, that is true. Like ideally, I would just want like an easier way of just like putting things into from my head onto paper, you know, like. But it also takes like some of the fun out of it, because working on stuff like this, as grueling as it is fun in its own way. So I'll always just, you know, speak to that when it comes to saying why I want to continue this path versus taking, you know, what is like the easy way out. Because like that human touch you get when it comes to art is just like unique in and of its own way. You don't get that with a lot of AI, even if it replicates some really well done human art that's easily recognizable to anyone who sees it. Like, it won't ever replicate you know, it won't be easy to replicate because you just can't get that human touch from a robot. Like, I think the way it works is just like, because I think there is certain routes you can go, because AI isn't going anywhere. Like, we all know that. Like, AI is used in everything from like computers to, you know, just about anything in filmmaking. So it's not like all AI is bad. It's just the methodologies and I guess like the ethics and just the I don't want to say morals, but like something akin to that, the ethos or something. Like it would just go against what most people think about when they think about art. Just because when it comes to that, like, you know, like it takes away from the human touch you get. Because like hopefully you can see like through my process here, because it is fun. Like it's fun to put the work into it, and for some people, like I know it's tough, and you'll get into certain points in your life to where like you wish you were at one level or the other, but in times like that, you just have to buckle down and just keep practicing, keep trying, keep at it. If you really want to do that kind of stuff and get into art, like you just gotta tough it out and just do your best, because that's all you can do. Don't fall back on AI to put what you want to see onto something physical, because AI has its issues. So I think there's a brush I can use to make it so that maybe that'll work. That's cool. We have to think that way. No way. Oh no. I like the Tyrannosaurus has that like fishy texture to him. Maybe this will be the best way to. Oh. To replicate that. Hey, one in the comments, let me know what you think of this, because this sort of goes against my style in a way. Like normally I would stop at the base colors you see and then go into it with some rendering. So let me know what you think down below. I might just get rid of it if I don't like it. I think it's accurate, but like I said, I work in a style that's, which I could animate this, or someone could, anyway, because like I would normally just stop at that, which I might just do. I might just leave it at that and keep rendering, but we'll see. I think that looks good. That might look a little better to me, that because I'm rendering done. And by rendering, we just add things like highlights and stuff, since, like I said, most animation work doesn't really have like that much deep rendering unless it's like a high budget animated feature. But I mean, like Family Guy, if it was a show versus the movie, which like is true to some extent, because like when you have a movie like that, you have more time to pay, or more money to pay the artists to do all the rendering. Which is on a show like most anime, they'll have like basic shading, and it'll only be mostly for moments where they're like in an environment of some kind. The shading would be more aesthetically pleasing to look at. Anyway, that's pretty cool. It's cool. Just do things like basic shadows, like that. Things that make more sense to have some shadowing. See it up later.
Spiegando, ¿verdad? Dear Carla, where are you going? Where are you gonna go? She's gonna get you. Go over there.
See y'all. But
Unknown.
go. It's looking pretty good. Hopefully you guys can see it pretty well. I guess, yeah. And now she's a little bit more darker. Maybe let's see, go with the darker shade, maybe slightly. That might work a little better. Just for certain purposes. Yeah. Okay, make sure to look a little more shiny. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm missing. Let's see. There you go. Just one highlights on the I like to do highlights just with some airbrushing here. I think it looks nice. It's what I mostly use. I know there's probably some other better techniques, but yeah, I like it this way. Actually, some shadow right here. Another thanks again, just for the people sticking around. We're gonna be finishing up here in a little bit, so if you stick around then, listen to me spiel some more. We right. So let's see here. I got some shading going. Shade under the control. Right there. Shading does help bring out helps the other colors pop up more. So like so just look at the no more life to it. I know most things, like I said, are pretty flat rendered with minimal shading at mostly at the neck and stuff, but I like to go the extra mile with some of this stuff since it just helps gives it more life. Looks a little bit more, I guess, cleaner, something. A little bit more finish to it. So let's see. Let's do some backward. What pops up? That look good. Maybe. hoping that looks good on screen. My brightness is all the way up, but it doesn't look like. I don't know if it's coming well on stream, but I'm hoping that looks pretty good. And that would about do it for the most part. Since this is just about what a finished product of mine would look like, I would probably mess around with the background a little bit more, but yeah, other than that, everything looks pretty complete. Got everything rendered out. A bit quicker than maybe my usual thing, but I can work pretty fast, so it's no big deal. But either way, thanks again for everyone who stuck around. Like I said, feel free to continue leaving any comments for any suggestions of kaiju I can draw from next stream, since I am a bit tuckered out. We're just 20 minutes away from hitting 3 hours, so we'll probably call it a night there, and I'll just check again, see if there's any other last minute suggestions or anything. Looks like everything's pretty finished up. Yeah, let me know what anyone here might think of my Titanosaurus drawing there. Maybe I'll add a bit more backlighting or something, or other, so that way it just looks a bit more flashy or something. Man, I have usually a that's cool. That looks neat right there. But yeah, thanks everyone again. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky as Vic Monstrous. I have commissions open again, both for just personal support and any donations you want to make that will go towards charity work, anything like that. And then I also do have upcoming projects. Like I said, hopefully I'll get into doing the response to Little Platoon for Godzilla Kong New Empire, and then hopefully we'll do more Drawcasts since I do have a bit more free time to work with. Big thank you again. Just thank you again for everyone who joined on. I think we had a pretty good turnout here. Big thank you to Minecraft World, to Terry, Toku Punk. Just big thanks to everyone who joined. Remember to subscribe, stay tuned for more, and have a good one, Kaiju Seekers. Till next time.